The xParticles lets you render your particles without using geometry. In the scene I have an emitter and a curl turbulence just to create this wispy nebula. I'm going to go to the Materials menu, Create, Shader, xParticles Material, and we drop that onto the emitter. We can render straight away, and you'll see it's rendering these dots. Let's have a look at making this look better. Select your material, and you can see we have a lot of options for how the material is rendered. Color properties gives you the option to take the color mode from the particles, or random color, random from gradient, or particle color. You can add in a texture and modifiers to control exactly how they render. Transparency gives you the option to add a noise channel, and also modifiers for the age, life, etc. Size controls the size of the particle render. So let's lower it down to something like 5, put in some variation. Filling will add fill particles on render. So for each one particle, when set, we will have an extra count of 10 and a radius around those particles. So that just gives you a way to add in more particles to your simulation without having the overhead of doing it in the viewport. Volumetric will create a volumetric render option, and this can be set to be voxels as well. The illumination tab gives you the types of illumination modes that we can use: flat, Phong, diffuse, fuzzy, neon, and other lighting illumination modes. Let's render now with it as a smaller size, and you can see you get a bit more detail. Let's see how it works with lights. If we get in one light now and enable shadows, we'll be able to get a bit more detail into the actual simulation. The particles can take on lighting color. So let's change this to inverse square and create another one. Simply drag and drop and change the color of this one green, and we'll move it around here. None of these lights are actually intersecting with the particles, so we need to just make sure they're a little bit closer. Now render, and you can see they're getting the color information from the lights and looking quite nice. You can also go to your render settings, xParticles menu, change the blend mode from normal to additive to get a brighter highlights within the simulation and your finer areas. There's other options in here for high quality render. With this is a faster render mode, but if you need options such as depth of field, turn this off. Reflections and refractions within the scene, and volume and shadow step size, they're used with the volumetric render. Let's turn these off and enable a spline. The xParticles material will also render splines. If we put that on the spline object and hit render, you can see it's creating the spline render. You can do effects such as Phong mode and have specular highlights along your spline. As you can see here, let's disable these lights. Change our color. And you can see you're getting specular highlights along the spline render. You can also use age effects such as sizing based on the age gradient to taper things out. You can put in a age color to give it an edge-based gradient along the spline.